have our coherent group, and now we have a download coming into the coherent group of the details of mastering this language of feeling, the language of perception and experience. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And what's happening is I'm seeing an even greater coherence taking place, a greater kind of congealing and acceptance of energies through the whole body. What I'm realizing is that in order to master this speech, we need to be able to speak with every part of the body, every organ, like your fingertip says it differently than the end of the nose, than the ear, than the hair. Split ends, they say differently. Each part has its own way of communicating, feeling. And so it's like the body or the being becomes a sort of symphony of communication where all the parts are working together and they're producing energy frequencies which harmonize with each other in such a way as to create an expression of intelligence which is truly useful to ourselves and to the universe. So the information's starting to pour in a lot faster now. So one of the things is that by functioning in this manner, it actually has an integrating and healing effect on the physiology. It upgrades the physiology. Any organ or part of the body which is out of coordination or union with the rest, that area is probably experiencing a symptom of some kind. That area comes back online. That the act of communicating in a really coherent manner, the feeling, an impulse of intelligence from the feeling level, it brings all parts of the body together. So that's the first thing. And I'm just offering to the group, to all of us, and to the field of being itself, whatever the impulse of intelligence that's most appropriate, that's most life-supporting, that's most healing for everyone in the group, that's the impulse that comes. So that's being offered now into the source of creation. And what's coming back, not expected, is that the mother of creation is saying that all that's really wanted by the universe from us as our healing group is greater intimacy, greater connection, greater flow of love, deeper understanding. And essentially, the reason that we exist as humans is so that the being of all, the source of creation, can understand itself in a more elaborated form, can understand part of itself that as wholeness it cannot understand. As wholeness, it knows itself completely. It knows everything. It knows everything. And as humans, it gets to know what it's like not to know things. It gets to know how to learn. It gets to know how to have surprises. We've talked about that before. It's really important because that's expansion. That's the divine dialogue. He starts out as a prince and he comes home a king. That's the growth. It's the growth factor. You could say it's a growth factor. So the growth factor, is the impulse of intelligence that our physiologies are now communicating to this whole field of creation, to the source of creation. Growth of divine embodiment, growth of union with the source, with divinity, with our own essential nature, with the authentic self. The authentic self, that word had energy in it, so we're going with that. So offering authentic self into the source of creation and supporting expansion. It feels like a download that's coming from the inside out. Oh, nice. Also suggestion up here in the chat box, movement towards equity. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's coming from the inside out, is a sense of understanding of self, which is richer, more complete, more capable of embracing the range of potential. basically, we can think of simultaneous parallel universes as a field of potential, because they're moving all the time, but we have a sort of autonomy with regards to our relationship to these virtual fields of creation where we already exist, but we don't fully experience ourselves existing there. We fully experiencing ourselves existing here. Oh, more great suggestions here. Move towards equity, movement for immortality, from mortality to immortality. Yes, complete freedom, intimacy, love. Thank you for the suggestions. Beautiful. Those, and I'm reading for these guys because everybody else, you're getting that right on your chat. Those who are seeing the chat box pop up there. Thank you. And I would say all these different concepts have their own importance regarding their relationship to different parts of the physiology. You know that some parts of the physiology need to imbibe a greater sense of freedom, like the throat area, for example, that we did the healing on before. That idea that I can't speak my truth, that just, it blocks up everything. So that sense of freedom coming in there. And also there's a kind of a reverence that's coming into that area as well. And it's a reverence towards, it's a reverence for the way the heart is able to conjoin its understanding of the Basti, information coming from within, from the Basti Mahamarma field, translated through the field of feeling, and then integrated with the relative. And that's why we're doing this whole thing. We're doing this so that we can interact in this world, this relative world, in a way that's more successful, more effective, more powerful, more life-supporting, better expression of divinity, more balanced. Amazing, everybody. All right, so I'm loving this kind of lovely kind of congealed feeling that's in our healing circle. And the fact that it doesn't have like a lot of extra fluff on it. It's just like the pure thing. And I mentioned before that this download is coming from the inside out. It's very interesting. A lot of times I experience downloads coming in through the crown chakra, but here it feels like it's just oozing right from the center of being, like right from the heart or something. It's just opening through the whole being. And it's a level of self-understanding that supports the ability to move like a master through the realms and the dimensions and the virtual realities, all the simultaneous parallel universes. When we understand ourselves in terms of the simplest, most essential truth of what we are, and that ability, by the way, you know, you can do it and then you can do it again and again. You can never go like you can go infinitely deep on that, right? That when we do that, it puts one in a more stabilizes consciousness and sense of self in a more universal location. This is just what I'm reading off of this. And from the more universal location, it's possible for the individual to incorporate the laws of nature of a broader spectrum of reality in every action, every impulse of thought, every impulse of speech. We're taking into consideration a broader spectrum of reality. So what we're doing is we're basically essentially, think of it like energy asanas, energy yoga, that we're stretching our ability to function multidimensionally and to do it comfortably and to know that we're doing it. This is a stretch. It's a kind of a stretch. And the stretch, as I mentioned before, seems to be coming from the inside out. It seems to be affecting that cord of light, the sacred cord that runs from the crown of the head down through the body and into the Mother Earth. That cord it's shape-shifting for all of us. It's becoming, I'll describe, I'm looking, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's here. Thank you because it gives me a chance to see the physical bodies are right here in the room with me too. So I appreciate that. More orderly, but also a little bit broader. Like for cords of light, and I think I just breezed over this at the last webinar, they're extremely unique. Everyone's looks like so different. They're like faces. Faces just, they're so unique and different. And some people's cords of light are like really thin like that. And others can be really big. I've seen them ranging from like little to great big like that. And some of them are truncated, and they have like different textures and different colors in them. And like there's a really broad variety. But what I'm seeing happening is greater orderliness, and particularly with regards to what appears to be a system of threads or strings of consciousness that are connected to and associated with it. I'm seeing the cords of light starting to, we're looking, right? So we're shining the light of awareness and we're seeing in more detail. They have a fractaline structure in that they're like a thread or a cord running through the body, but it's made also of cords. So we've got cords making cords. We love those forms. Those are ancient forms of intelligence, much older than us. So what that tells us is that our cords of light are older than our bodies that are somewhere within the range of a century. Right? That the cords are these they're part of a body of life force in our universe, which is quite wise, quite ancient. So there's an element of friendship. There's an element of being extremely supportive and accepting and integrated with that cord. The cord is becoming integrated. And the energy that's coming, that I'm understanding from the cord right now, is that it is such intense bliss to be that shape, to be that form in the human body. It is such a privilege and a joy and a there's an expansion of freedom and love and intimacy, those points that came in on the chat over here. And also immortal. The cords are immortal. Whether the body lives so many years, but the cords, they're going on and on and on like that. So this I didn't know. I knew this. I'll tell you what I knew about cords before we started this business. And that is that the cords ground us they help us stay grounded into our physical form and into the human experiencing condition. And that when a person passes out of their bodies, the cord becomes unanchored. It becomes loosened from the source, from the center of Mother Earth, and it comes up for miles, of course, thousands of miles, up, and then eventually, at the time of death, it liberates up out through the crown of the head. And with it, the life force in the body also goes. I also knew that the Davic intelligence of the earth functions to support those cords and maintain them. There's a certain level of maintenance that's done by the intelligence of Earth itself. So our cords are also part of Earth's structure. It's an area where we conjoin with Mother Earth. And if you think about it, all the living things of Earth are essentially an extension of Earth. I mean, even the matter out of which our bodies is made is the same matter out of which the body of Mother Earth is, carbon and, I don't know, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. We have water, oxygen, and hydrogen, all the different elements in the body, potassium, magnesium, iron, chloride, all the different elements. So what's happening is a relationship that's being established for us as a collective and for us also as individuals in our bodies with this aspect of our own intelligence. And this aspect, this cord of light, which is also very much at the astral plane and kind of connects up to the astral body, which is like a big bubble around us, right? But it swirls and it comes down into the cord and then back out like that. There's a kind of a give and take with the astral body, which is also part of our energetic connection to the environment. So what's happening is an integration. This is what this healing is doing, is it's an integration of our relationship with the environment, the subtle environment, the level of the environment where we can easily access the finer dimensions of creation. Simultaneous parallel universes, subtle realms. This is the tool, this is the knowledge and the experience required to gain mastery over the ability to function in an intelligent and life-supporting way with those areas of creation.